Good morning. Welcome to All Things Chadwick. I am backing out of my driveway. Well, actually, we have a turnaround thing, so that's what I'm doing. I was backing, and now I'm going to pull out onto the highway. Anyway, salutation. It's going to be a big day today. It has just barely stopped raining, and I'm so glad because I do not enjoy driving, especially on the highway or the interstate in the rain. Sorry this is moving. I can't help it. Or I'm not going to take time to help it. So it is a Monday morning. I'm on my way to the theater and I have a long list of last minute tasks. We have a show that opens this week, and as a matter of fact, it actually opens tonight. We do a few community things where we invite community groups of people to come in and watch our final 2 dress rehearsals. So we run the show, lights, sound, music, everything, just as if the show is actually open, but it's officially still a dress rehearsal. So we have the opportunity to still take care of a few little things that maybe a costume needs a tack, or maybe something needs to be replaced or hemmed, or we need to add or take away part of something. So, we still have the ability to do that behind the scenes or during intermission or, whatever, or after the show tonight, tomorrow night. So it's really exciting. I'm not going to give away anything today as far as the show itself is concerned, but I am just going to share some of the things that I do day to day at the theater in the costume shop. I wanted to take this opportunity also to thank you to so many people who are messaging me and subscribing and liking. I appreciate it. I know it's been a few days since I posted anything. I think the last thing was a cooking. I did something. I don't really remember right now. I'm still going to be doing Amish macaroni salad soon, and I've recently found, and I'll show you a picture of it right here, I recently found a mid-century modern fondue set. The little color-coded forks or skewers and all. So I'm really excited. I'm going to do fondue, like classic Swiss fondue, which means I have to go out of the town where we live to find the cheeses that I will need. And I have to stop by and get some really good white wine and some kirsch also. So I'm going to be doing fondue soon, and I'll show you another picture. We're going to pick up this little darling in 4 more days. So I'm on my way to the theater. I'll see you when we get there. If something pops in my mind that I just absolutely can't resist sharing with you, I will, or talk to you a little bit more on the way to the theater. I'm concentrating on driving, not concentrating on looking at you guys. See you in a few minutes. Well, I have arrived, and as usual, I get engaged in conversations with this person and that person, the other person. So I've actually been here about 45 minutes, just running my lips, and they're running their lips and all that. So the costume shop, there are totes and totes and totes of, let's just say, helmets, goggles, badges, wig caps, garters, hair pieces, witch faces, Halloween wigs, sunglasses, regular glasses, glass cases, glass chains, tons of hair pieces, tons of styrofoam heads, material. I'm ironing. So that's enough. I'll just stop right there. So I'm going to start with this. This is one of the most common things that happens in the theater. You see this collar? Where it's turning green. People, have on makeup or foundation or concealers. And so this is not your average ring around the collar. This is actually green around the collar. So first thing I'm going to do is spray this. I'm going to wash those 2 white things, and I'm going to get to work on some other things, and I'll show you what's going on in a minute. We have a front load washing machine, so that allows me to put a big towel up here and use that as my work surface for spraying things. So a little spray and wash around the collar on the back side, and And I'm getting messages from members of the cast as I spray front and side. And I always check the sleeves too, just to make sure that we don't have any ring around, and we do. So I'm gonna spray both sleeves and I'll be back. We have an actual knife that is wielded to the crowd, but then at some point that knife gets plunged. So we have this knife that actually goes into a piece of garment that has a pocket sewed, and I'll be putting some magnets in there so that this actually looks like it has been plunged into someone's body. And I have a tuxedo. I just finished letting out these pants a little because they were a little small on an actor. And this, the tails tend to flap around a lot, so I'm gonna put a couple of tacks in these tuxedo tails so that they don't flap around so much, because this actor's on the ground and flying around a lot. So let's take care of that. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my primary workstation. Sorry, it's a little untidy, but that's how it goes. You know, I find that the colors I use the most are white, black, and red. And look at all the bobbins I have, every color in the world. I do have red there, but I run out of black and white so often. So let me fill this bobbin. I'm going to unthread the needle and pull this through the machine. I have fed the thread through that tiny hole in the bottom of the bobbin, and we're gonna stick that right on here. Boom. And engage it by pushing it over against that little gripper. And just before ooh, sorry, I'm gonna make you dizzy. I'm gonna hold on to the end of the thread pretty stoutly while I engage the rest of this. My thread is actually coming from, where is it coming from? There. All the way up over this thing, all the way over the machine, and back to the bobbin. And I'm gonna press slightly on the bobbin foot, just like that. That little tail that wrapped around down here, I'm not gonna worry about that, because that will I'll cut that off when we're finished. If you feel like your bobbin's filling too full at the bottom, then just kind of take control of it. That little thread, and pull it up to the top. My nails look awful, they have to be done soon. Sorry. And it'll kind of click off when it's finished, because it'll touch this little thing over here, the thread will. Every machine is different, but we are going to drop our bobbin in there. Well, it's never done that before. Drop that bobbin in there. And then I have to take it under this little piece of metal right there and pull it back around. I'll do it with two hands. And of course we have to rethread the machine. I'm not gonna show you all this because I'm sure most of you know how to do this and it's just making you dizzy. Once you get the machine rethreaded, I'm not gonna show you all that because most of you that care already know how to do it anyway. So, and you hope when you push that needle down through there, I'll close that just for the heck of it. You hope when you push that needle down through there that it pulls that other thread up. So let's just see if that's indeed what happened. Look at there, it surely did. So I'm gonna reach under there and grab both the threads. So the bobbin is engaged. I am ready to fly. So that is ready for some things I'll do later. First of all, I'm gonna tack these tails. So tack number 1 is finished and tack number 2 is finished. So there we have it, tucked tails. They still hang nicely, but they do not flap around quite as much. So perfect. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is part of one of the dressing rooms. So I'm gonna hang up some things and let's get on with it. God, the lights in here are so vivid. Oof. Here's a little quickie of the stage. I don't want to give you any clues as to what the show is. Okay, I had to zoom through and pick up a couple more costumes relating to my notes. This person wears this long rain trench, but they have really long sleeves. So what I'm gonna do is mark these, turn these under, and tack these sleeves inside so they will be shorter. Here we go. So in essence, what we're doing is we're taking this 17-inch sleeve and we're making it into a 13-inch sleeve. And right in the middle of doing that, the washing machine is yelling my name. So we're going to transfer these things into the dryer. And before I put things in the dryer, I like to check that everything's just white as snow. No green left on the collar, no ring around the collar, so all is well. And the dryer is going. Both sleeves are pinned on the inside, so now let me reverse these sleeves and tack them. This thing, this contraption right here makes threading a needle so much easier. Look at that. Boom. Can you, oh Lord, will it even focus? And voila, two 17-inch sleeves have become two 13-inch sleeve. Nice, clean, pressed, stain-free tuxedo shirt. Now it's time to put this daddy to use. I have to press a few things. Now we have a gong that sounded horrible. It had this tiny, I didn't start filming beforehand, but it had this tiny little white material that goes against, let me just show you over here, that goes against this, and it sounded horrible. So I can't hold it and gong it at the same time, but I put a few layers of this felt, sewed a few layers of this felt around it, and now I'm gonna cover it in that same silk material, and the gong will sound a little more gongish rather than just metal on metal. Well, now we are backstage. I don't know why I'm whispering other than the fact that normally when we're back here we need to be quiet because there's something going on stage. So let me manipulate myself and maneuver around this beautiful fireplace. This is backstage. So the gong is fixed. And it goes back up here with. Now this cummerbund has to stay in place because this particular butler moves around a lot. So I have to place two of these under here. The black goes under here and the white will go on the shirt so that cummerbund will stay right where it needs to stay. So here we go, the machine. And boom, the black is on. And you don't even see it on the front of the cummerbund. Now let's change thread in the machine and let's do the white. Let's pin them on there for goodness sake, Chadwick, so they match up. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a cummerbund that will not slide around. Yet it will detach. So there we go. A little more pressing with black. There's a little something right there, but with pressing, I always press first. And I'm not going to show you all that, but then I take the roller and I roll everything out. So I think that's a little powder off of something. We'll press and roll, especially with the black fabrics and darker things. And these last two divine little numbers are pressed. And just before I leave, I have to make a few black panels or seat cover panels. Black catches everything, especially in this costume shop. But so I am sewing and hemming those up right now before I leave. Turning and ironing and turning and ironing, my goodness, just to make 4 panels. And of course these panels have to have Velcro attached, so now we have to cut that. And then we have to put the actual adhesive side onto this because we're going to go out and attach it to the seating panels. Well, everyone, that was a fun-filled day. And although it seemed like to you just a few minutes, it seemed like to me a good 8 hours plus. And I don't, fortunately, I have a job where I can go in for 2 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours. And I can go in at 4 a.m. or I can go in at 10 p.m. most of the time. Now, sometimes, of course, when there's a show going on, some of us have box office things or we have costuming things or laundry or whatever. But I'm really fortunate in that way. Theater's kind of weird like that. And some of my comrades there, they even have a weirder schedule. So, you know, they do work mostly evenings because rehearsals are in the evenings and cleanup is in the evenings and so forth and so on. So, it was a big long day. I got a lot accomplished. I am headed to another city about 60 miles from here. to give piano lessons for the rest of the evening. So I'm not going to video that because I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to kind of take you along. It's been a while since we've been to the theater together on All Things Chadwick. Slow down, Chadwick. So at least it's not raining now. It is cloudy out and it is 52 degrees. So it's chilly because it's cloudy. If the sun were out, it would be a little more pleasant, but I'm in this nice cozy vehicle and I'm all comfy and ready for an hour and 20-minute ride with some fabulous music. So I'll see you next time on All Things Chadwick. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I truly, truly do. And see you next time. And wouldn't you know, one of the first things that comes on my Apple Music, one of my favorites of all time. Yes, it is. Everybody needs a little time away, I heard her say, from each other. I'll carry on and you carry on.